And yes, we are live, and you are live today. At my intentional parenting journey, I am very excited. Today, we have another masterpiece woman in the vlog. You do not want to miss this session. Trust me when I say so. Thank you so much, Marietu, for being here. It is such a pleasure to have you share your intentional parenting journey. What a gift! Thank you so much for being here. If you can hear me, you can see me. I want to see you right in the comment section telling me that you can hear me. Over the weekend while we were in Benin, someone said to me, Ma, as I scrolled through social media, I saw a video of you. Just because someone had told me about you and said I should go and research about you, I decided to actually go on and research about you. And when I got to your page, I realized that this is exactly what I've been looking for all my life. You might just be helping someone this morning by sharing this link with the person. You never can tell. Maybe that's what the person has been looking for all their lives. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I am particularly excited, yes, because I have Marietu in the building. Marietu, Marietu is going to be sharing her journey. I can't even wait. I've never heard her journey, like her journey. It's so exciting to be seated here and actually listen to her. So tell me, have you invited that family or that friend? You know, one of the things that I love about the conversations around the inner circle is how real it is, how it is that it speaks to every individual journey at the place where they are. Everybody has a journey, and that's the beauty of life. The inner circle actually places and chronicles that journey in tangibility. So if you're listening to me and you're wondering, what is this all about? This is a journey of parents from the Inner Circle program. The Inner Circle program is a 1 year annual program of the Intentional Parent Academy. The Intentional Parent Academy is an academy for parents. When people meet me and they say, what do you do? I say to them that I teach parents how to be parents. Sometimes it's hilarious to some, sometimes it's shocking to some, sometimes it is exciting to some. Whichever place you belong, just know that parenting is learned. And yes,
Yes.
there is a curriculum for everything that works. And that's exactly what we do at the Intentional Parent Academy. One of the best gifts that I have for you is being that coach who will show you exactly how to actually get to where you want to get to when it comes to your children. Scratch that. To show you how you want to get to when it comes to you. Because I believe that parenting is about you. It is what it is about you that actually gets to translate to what your child will have. Many times, we look at our children and we have a problem with it. Our children are only a reflection of what it is that we can give. So many times I have said that our children are a report card. Whatever it is that you see your child bring back, pinch yourself. Is that my report card? Are you shocked? That's exactly who you are. You're shocked at that child who is always constantly yelling, bickering. That's exactly who you are. You are shocked at that child who is rude. Rude children are not born. You are shocked at that child who is entitled. Entitled children are not born. That's your report card. It's either what you have done or what you have failed to do. In either of the two, you will find yourself. Anytime that anything fails, it's not people that fail. It's not things that fail. It's systems that fail. And most times, it's a system you didn't build or a system you built you refuse to follow. Either way, a failure of a system is actually what failure is. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's going to be really, really exciting walking through your journey this morning. And we have Marietu all the way from Zaria, Nigeria. And she's going to be sharing
Yeah.
with us her journey. is an educationist. She runs a school. She is a masterpiece woman. Masterpiece woman, are you here? Make some noise. I know that this masterpiece will just pepper some people small, but just leave it. That's not what this is about. This is about inner circle. Somebody said, I don't even know what this is. Inner circle is spelled premium, and I'm here and I'm out there. Somebody reached out to me and said, I want to just join Masterpiece. My parenting is just perfect. I say, Madam, start with inner circle, please. So that you don't get there and just hit some bad blows on your face and you just say, this woman. Start with inner circle. That's the place to start. Be comfort. And that's it. Dr. Aisha Motala, I see you. Dr. Aisha is a masterpiece woman who is a yada in waiting. And Dr. Aisha has been here every morning. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You know how somebody just sticks on you? Somehow, this young woman has just stuck on me. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I see you, Debbie Elfor, and I'm going to be in the UK tomorrow with Debbie. I can't wait. Hey, Debbie, shout out to you. And if you are in the UK, we're coming to the UK for TIP Summit UK. Shout out to UK others. You guys are awesome. All right, so today's morning we have Marietu. Marietu, talk to us. How did you get into the inner circle? How did you get here? Temitope, you already have fans. Temitope said, my life took a leap when I joined. You literally forced me to be here. The difference is like night and day. I thank you for spelling TIP well. The difference is like night and day. That's the word. Thank you so much. Over to you, Maria, too. Your testimony is already telling in the comment section.
All right. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Yadas. Good morning to incoming Yadas. Good morning, everybody watching me from everywhere. Wow, it's an honor to be on this great platform. Thank you so much, Coach, for the privilege. Thank you so much. I don't take it for granted. I don't take this lightly. Shout out to every masterpiece woman out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so how I joined TIP. I believe you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So, how I joined TIP, it was 2021. Yeah, it was around June, thereabouts. I was frustrated. I was tired. Coach, I was suffering. Hey, this parenting thing, they did
Mm.
not tell me it was going to be like this now. You know, we were told about the joys of motherhood. No more, there was no joy. There was no joy, coach. I didn't have any joy. Ah, my children were, I just had two
Now,
kids.
what is this? Marietu.
I just had two kids. I used to say that they were 1.5 at that time. My daughter was 3, my son was just 1. And when just us, I was staying at home, then I was not working. I left the bank. I came to sit down at home with my children. I wanted to be with my children because I was working in different states from where my husband was. I didn't want that. So I left the job. I came to sit down at home. I wanted to stay with my children because I knew that I had to give my children that time. But as at that time in my life, it was frustrating. I knew that parenting should be learned, but I did not know where I should learn it from. I didn't have any resources. I've even talked about it. I'd written some posts how you should parent. You need a manual for parenting. But coach, I did not know where the manual was. I did not know how to find it. I was, few scripture here and there. And coach, at that time, one of those days, my husband said that he said, ah, said, Mary, what is going on? You're always angry. You are frustrated. You need to calm down. Hey, my husband is a very patient person. Oh, I'm very calm. Hey, my husband told me that. I thought about myself. I said, what is happening to me? Hey, what is happening to me? I started praying. I pray, God, help me. Give me insight. I need help. Prayer works. It's good. It's powerful. And I believe that God hears us. He heard me. Yes. And God is going to always answer us. But you know what? God is not going to come down from heaven to answer that prayer. He has set systems. He has set men. He's not going to break that protocol to remove man and come and do it for you. He must use a man because he put men here on earth. So one of those days I was going, I think I clicked on his status and then I left my phone. I went to attend to something. I can't remember what. And then I came back, it was already scrolling through many statuses and all. So when I picked it up, it was a big sister of mine in Abuja. And I saw her status that she snapped a picture with you. And she said, finally, she had met the Coach Wendy, Intentional Parenting Academy. I said, hello, wait, excuse me. You said Intentional Parenting Academy. There is a place where people learn parenting. I went on Facebook. Immediately, I went to look for you. And then I began to, I said, oh, seriously? So there is a place. Wow. So I began to follow you on Facebook. That was how I heard. I chatted her immediately. I said, who is this woman? Where is she? She answered me. And then I checked. I think it was about that period you shared a free chapter of Connect to Correct. I immediately went to read it. I read the chapter and I didn't have money then to buy any book. Honestly, coach, I didn't have any money. I was saying I was doing nothing. I didn't have any money to buy a book. I said, I called her. I said, please, do you have this book? She said she has it. I said, borrow me. She said she does that. Is how will she get it to me? A friend of mine was coming from Abuja to Zaria. I said, give her. And my friend was going to spend only 3 days. So I told her, give her let her bring it. So she brought the book. I began to read it. I didn't finish it, but I gave the friend. I said, no, I don't want to hold on to it. I'll buy my own. So I gave it back. I sent it back to Abuja to my friend. And that was it for me. That was just the beginning. I began to follow you on Facebook, Tuesday Live. I wasn't doing Instagram then, so I didn't go on Instagram. But Facebook, Tuesday Live, I began to follow you and to share. I started talking. I said, see this thing I've been talking about? Parenting is learned. Yes, somebody is teaching about parenting, and this is where I needed to be. I remember one of those days. Sorry, excuse me. Prior to that, coach, you know how we say we are raising children. As at that time in my life, I don't think I was raising my children. I was rearing them. That's the word, rearing. You know, I've been privileged to rear chickens. I've been privileged to rear chickens. When you rear birds, there's no emotion attached to it. You just go give them food, give them water. They'll be fine. Nothing extra. You don't do anything extra. See, I've tried for you people. I'm taking care of you people. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing everything for these children, for crying out loud. What are you people looking for? What extra thing are you people looking for? So my emotions. I remember one of those days I was having a conversation. I told somebody, I told a friend, I said, see, it's easy to be pregnant and give birth to, but you see, the hardest part of parenting is this emotion that I don't know how to deal with. The emotional part of parenting, I can't afford it. That's why I can never give birth to another child, because these two, they finished all the emotions I had. And coach, that was how I joined TFP. Let me not talk too much and go off.
Amazing, 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 amazing. You are listening to Marietu. When she actually started and she said, see, they told us about all the joys of motherhood. Omo, I did not see the joy. Hey, I was telling a younger, mentee of mine who was just about getting married. And I said to her, I say, this journey is a long. Don't get deceived without when you have children, all the happiness in the world will come to you. It is not true. It is not true. In fact, when you have children, you might actually become angry. She looked
Yes,
at me.
yes,
She,
yes,
looked-
yes.
she looked at me and said, why will I be angry? I thought they say once you open your eyes, you see the child in the
Anyway,
hospital, your joy will just come. I said, all those things, they are fairy tales. Except if you intentionally walk through
yes.
your journey. That's the only way you can have the joy of motherhood. If not, joy of motherhood in the mud. In the
There's no joy.
mud,
There's no joy there.
there's no joy. You will find it. You'll be asking yourself, is this how they did it? The first 1 week of having a child, I asked my mother, so I don't understand. You had 5. Like, is there something wrong? I don't get it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How did you do it? So because it was Coach Omolola that said our first experience of motherhood is it just hits us. We just wake up, we are mothers. The only thing they tell you is when you're a mother, you feel good. When you see your children, you feel happy. It is not true. You can see your children and be very angry.
Very angry. Very angry. Coach, when I gave birth to my first daughter, I told myself that I wasn't going to give birth again when I gave birth to my
Mm,
first child. I felt like,
mm,
I remember that day I was walking with my husband. I said, you know what? Let me not just sound like an ungrateful person that had the privilege to give birth. There are people that are looking for
mm,
children. I'm just going to do
mm.
this one more time. Prior to that, coach, we had agreed we were going to have 4 children. Oh. I said, no, I cannot do this.
That's it.
No, I will do it one more time. And that's all. Because
Oh,
I didn't have any joy then.
really? The joy of motherhood. The joy of motherhood was not there. You're listening to Marietu. Marietu is streaming all the way from Zaria. And Marietu started this session in a very humorous way. As far as I'm concerned, that was one of the most hilarious things I've heard in a while. Like, joy of motherhood, how I did have joy, man. And that was just it. And she said, I just got in contact and I just saw that person. Marietu has actually been in the system for a long time. And she just thought that's why when people hear that, they're saying, I've been in I've been in level one, I'm doing again. I laugh. I'm like, there are people that have done level one 5 times. And they are there. This guy,
Yes.
that's how my friend at Jetima said, you know what? I think I'll be in level one for a very long time. I said, why are you stuck there? He said, don't leave me. I'm not having a conversation with you. So it's been quite a journey, and I love how Marietu started off. So if you're listening to us, we just started that's it. Coach Omolola said we are not prepared for the seasons of life. No, we're not. We're not. And the thing just storms on us because nobody tells us the truth. People don't really tell you the truth on how things actually work. You know, so somebody said even if you don't get angry, that's Coach Marybeth. Just wait until they become preteens. You will know that the joy of motherhood in the skills you have. That's it. It's in the skills you have. If you don't have skills, the joy of motherhood will elude you.
There's
Don't
no
be
joy, there's
deceived.
no joy, there's no
And
joy.
this is for people who are just starting. Is it that joy that they preach to you? You will not have joy if you don't build skills. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
being here, and thank you for joining us. Marietu, there are a lot of people who are waiting. People are chronicle their journey already. He said sometimes back when I meet my children, they're like disaster to me. They give me high blood pressure. I get it. When you don't have the skills to do it any better, you will struggle. I'm about to say before in that second, I was suffering. That's just the way to put it. I was suffering, and I could have actually done things better. So Maria, to talk to us. You've been in Naseko for a while, and this is your third year. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. And
Yes,
and
I
and of
joined that
course,
2021.
exactly. And you're doing it on a journey. There have been different aspects of your life. You said you were not even working when you got in contact with the Intentional Parent Academy. How did you? I know that you run a school now. How did you get there? How have that helped you to build a career? How have you been able to move from the anger of motherhood to the joy of motherhood? Because this morning you are all smiles and all laughter. And also, how has that also affected your marriage? Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. So yes, when I that's 2021 June, yes. When I saw it and I started following you. July was Tepi conference, and one of the things I heard was Celia, Celia Kibla. She started talking about toddlers, and my children were toddlers, so I was more focused on toddlers and all. So she started talking about toddlers and the way we were handling them. I opened my eyes. I said, "What's going on here?" She talked about how one of the things she talked about was when the way we speak to our children. She gave an example of when you're calling your child. Maybe your child is outside. She gave an illustration of a child that's outside, maybe watching the flowers, and then you're shouting this child's name, come here, and the child is not answering you. That instead you should go and patiently wait for that child and then tell the child, because the child is absorbing something. She was talking about transitioning from one activity to the other. Yes, that's what she was talking about. That we just tell our children, come here, it's time to eat. Boom. And then we expect them to, like magic, transform into the. So when she talked about transitioning, I was like, okay, so this thing is something someone should do. And then I began to hear other people talk in that particular conference. I'm like, hey, I have
Okay.
work. I remember
I
I
think our
chatted you,
guest
coach.
is struggling a bit with her network. Uh, okay. Can you hear me?
Can I be heard?
You were off a bit. Continue, ma.
Oh, okay. So I was talking. I started off with the TRP conference that year, and I heard a lot that began to transform my parenting process. And I remember chatting you. Okay, coach is off. I don't know if I can still be heard and seen. Can I be heard and can I be seen while we wait for coach? Okay, I think coach network is is off a bit.
Yes, please continue.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So after I had plenty transformational things in that particular year's therapy conference, and I chatted you, coach. I said, coach, I remember chatting you. I just started chatting. I said, good evening, ma. I like to register for the inner circle. Then I now drew myself back and said, sorry, you don't even know who I am. I feel as if we know each other already. And I said, my name is Marietu. I said, my name is Marietu. I'm based in Zaria, and I want to join the inner circle, but I don't have the money to pay for it. Can I pay instrumentally? And I remembered you said, yes, you can do that. And I said, thank you, ma. And I began to pay. Coach gave me that opportunity. And I said, thank you. Thank you so much, ma. And from that time when I joined the inner circle, I saw people doing things. So, hey, first of all, one of the things I learned was tech in inner circle. When you join that December, create your family media plan, create your family values, and then people started talking about Canva. Hello, I did. I thought I was a bit techy, but no, I was joking that time. So when I joined the inner circle, that was the first thing. That was the first skill I learned. Tech. I began to use Canva. Coach, I'm doing a lot on Canva today. That was the first thing I learned. Most of the workbooks we use in school, I designed them there. Just from that, go and make your family media plan. And then, on the page, people say, how can I do this? Which app are you using? What are you doing? Then that's how I knew about Canva. And then I began to use it. And this was the woman that was at home, frustrated. I began to learn that my children were not the reason why I was angry. I was
Mm.
the reason. I was the reason I was angry. That's one of the first things you teach us. Parenting is about you. Funny enough, it's actually called parenting. It's not
Mm.
childrening.
Childing.
We always think that parenting is about the child, but it is called parenting. And who is the parent? It is
Mm.
me. It is about me. So one of the things I began to learn, I began to take my focus off my children and began to work on myself. What were the things that were frustrating me? Finances was one of them. I needed to work on
Mm.
that.
Mm.
I needed to work on that. So I began to do one of the things I started doing was I loved educational stuff, educational material. So I began to sell those. I think that was the after I joined TIP, I had to go to Lagos that year. So I began to get in touch with people that I can get this thing from. And one of the opportunities I got in TIP, shout out to Miss Tolu Lope Ojorelit. Coach, she helped me. You know, because of her outlet, really signature, DIYs and all. I immediately I chatted. I said, "Me yada when you same cohort that year one day." And I told her that I would like to start this business, but I don't have enough fund. She said, she told me what she was going to offer me. The offer, very good, coach. She gave me a very good offer. And I remember when I was going to make my first payment, she asked me, have I finished buying all the things I wanted? I said, yes. She should send her account detail, let me send the money. She said, not worry, let her just finish, let her dispatch the things. I'm like, you want to dispatch this what of good to me? She just went all the way. I called her, she missed my call. She would call me. I don't know her from anywhere, but just in the yard. She will call me and talk and encourage me. Omo, she did a lot for me just because of we met in the yard. Coach, you are giving us a lot of advantage and privilege. Thank you, ma. And she opened up her business to me, and I began doing that business that started bringing some income to me as at that time. So my finances moved from zero, and then I started getting income. That's one. Then my marriage, hey, coach. Oh. Then my husband said I was frustrated at that time. I was always angry. I realized that truly I was. I began to work on that. And when you taught us honor as a skill, hey, there's no other that webinar has not changed their life. I remember when I first listened to honor as a skill, coach, I packed all the money I had, I ran to the market. I had to go and buy new plates, new kitchen things. I bought everything new. When I served my husband said, what's going on? I said, nothing, nothing. I just want to. My husband said, hey, if you're serving me like this, hey, it will be okay. I said, really? He noticed? Because before that, my husband doesn't really eat much. So I just didn't really used to bother because
Yeah.
he can really eat small here and there. So I just used to do it anyhow. After that webinar, my game changed. And he said that it made impression on him. I said, okay, so he has been watching me since, really. And that was
Mm.
just the beginning. And honor changed the way I treated my husband. I would leave some
Mm.
things scattered in the house, feeling like, how about don't everybody know that I have little children? They're always scattering out. Honor as a skill began to help me rearrange my house.
Mm.
Just like that. And it changed everything for me because my husband wouldn't even talk much about a lot of things. He can keep plenty things. He will not even talk. So when you have not done the right thing, I say, thank you. This thing that you did. So I'm like, okay, so the other ones was bothering you before, but you didn't say anything. If I hadn't learned those things from being in the inner circle, I wouldn't have known that these things were even bothering this man at all. I was just doing my
Wow.
thing, feeling like, hey, I'm the only one that had children, oh, and I was suffering with children, oh, and all
Mm.
of that. Coach, right now, one of the things I learned in the inner circle, I said when I joined, I say, hey, you used to say parenting is not for loafers. I say, yes, so it's not for anybody, it's not for loafers, so and you cannot be
Mm.
broke and say you want to be a parent. When coach you say buy puzzle, buy book, who will I be begging money for, borrowing money for? I had to step up my game. The ones I
Yeah.
had to do DI, the ones I had to do DI, I have plenty DIYs in my house. When you say
Mm.
puzzle, I think, this one, they're a bit on the high side. I have board games that I drew them myself. I drew them, I colored them. My
Mm.
children use it. We created our own stuff. Coach is remaining small. It will be my own brand. Some of these things I designed myself just because I was in the yard and I needed to do some of these assignments that coach said we should do. And then my spiritual life, coach, inner circle is too spiritual. I will never see. Okay, please, can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I be heard? Can I be seen?
Yes. 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 You can be heard. You can be heard. We can hear you.
Can I be heard? Can I be seen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I think the network is
Yes.
breaking.
Oh, wow.
Hello, coach. Can I be heard? Can I be seen?
Yes. 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 We can see you. We can hear you. Read the screen. Yes, we can see and hear you. Oh, wow. I think we lost her. And I think our network is a little bit fuzzy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure that Marietu is going to join back. But let me say something to you while we wait for our guest. Since this week, one thing that I've maintained is that you should borrow money and get into the inner circle. And when you get in, that will be the very last money you have to borrow. Did anybody hear me say that? So all this, I don't have money, I cannot go and find the money. Get into the inner circle. Now, my relative has not gotten to her journey. She now runs a school. Yeah. It's interesting how you go from zero, from nothing, to becoming a world changer only in the inner circle. So one thing is sure, very sure. The more you are here, the more you become, the more your life gets changed. And shout out to you, Tolu Lokbe Ojo. Tolu is my personal person. Tolu is the founder of Relic Signature. And of course, you know TIP, I'm sure you know Relic Signature because Relic Signature is our plug for puzzles. And that's where Marietu started from. When people come to me and say, hey, I've been here, I don't know. If you're in the yard, you actually cannot trade, make money. There's something wrong somewhere. You are not, I don't know the yard you are in. It's impossible. You're not thinking, you're not creating. Marietu, you hear me? Hello, Marietu, can you hear me?
I can hear you, coach.
Please go ahead. Please go
It's
ahead. We could
frozen a
hear you.
bit. It's frozen right now.
Don't worry, go ahead. Just keep talking.
It's frozen right now, so I can't hear you.
Okay. I think her network is, throwing her in and out. I know how that
Okay.
can be. Just go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you. Hello, Marietu.
Okay, coach, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear. Can you read the screen? Just keep talking. We can hear you. Tim, can you please send her a chat? Just keep talking. We can hear you, ma. Okay, so I guess that her network between her was some kind of one chance, right? And she will be back. But like I said, and like I've been saying since this week, it is impossible. I think it was, I can't remember who said it yesterday, that when she joined the inner circle, she was selling 3 heads of plantain every week. Now she sells 10. That's how we roll. Wherever it is, whatever it is that you are doing, you will do it, and you will make money, sha. So all this, I don't have money, borrow money, come in. You will learn how to make money from day one. You will state what it is that you can do. Marietu, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, so my transformational journey. Yes, you know, one of the things that happened to me when I joined TIP, there was no structure in my house.
Mm,
Nothing. We wake up anytime. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom, and
mm,
my children were at home at that time. I was teaching them at home. I was homeschooling them. My daughter was 3, so she was of a school age. My son wasn't, so I started teaching them at home. We didn't have structure. My children used to sleep anytime. And when I entered the year, when I started listening to coach, that's what I said my children sleep at 8 o'clock, 8:30. I said, children sleep at that time. That was one of the first things I implemented. It wasn't easy the first few days, the first few weeks, but I implemented, and coach, I had peace. Because
mm.
you know, when you have structure,
Oh wow, we've lost that again. This network is not today. Oh. We must listen to Maria till you don't even know about it. Thank you so much, Marietu, for being here. Thank you for joining us. Please be patient with our guest. She's going to return now and she's going to be sharing with us. She said something. She said, when structure returned in my home, peace returned. As in, some of the things that we actually yell about is because we lack structure, is because we lack what to do, is because we do not know exactly what to do. As I say, I bind this network in Jesus, we bind it. We bind it all, right? And it's interesting, is interesting that many of the times you find out that you are struggling just because you don't have the know-how. Hmm. You don't have the know-how. If you do have the know-how, your struggle will cease, like automatically cease. Marietu was coming from a place of anyhowness. You know, in the inner circle where you join, there's something you hear. You hear there is no anyhowness here. Now look at Marietu. Marietu joined. The first thing she learned in the inner circle. In fact, right now in the inner circle, you even learn how to use Canva because there's a lot we do with Canva. We actually teach you. So one of the first things she learned was how to use Canva. And I've seen her worksheets, the things that she creates from Canva for her school today. Amazing. Amazing. Just by being in the yard. Just by being in the yard. So are you that person who is sitting listening and you're wondering, this thing, are you sure that this thing really is for me? Is he going to work? I say again, you're looking for 100,000 to join the inner circle for 1 year. That would be the best 100,000 you invested ever. Quote me again. If it's not, come back to me. No, scratch that. I have a group of yarders who said, don't disturb our coach. Come to us and you will be fine. Right? Marietu is back. Can you hear us, Marietu?
I can hear. Sorry, I had to change my network. I think it was
Oh, that's
network.
fine. In fact, everybody is kabashing for you in the comment section. They say you must share this. Ah.
Okay. I was talking about one of the first things I implemented was routines and structure. You know, there's
Mm,
this deception about being a stay-at-home mom. You think you're
mm,
always, yeah, you're always with your children. I was with my children, but I was not really with them. Oh. We were at home morning till night. We were together. We went everywhere together. We did everything together. But there was this perfunctory. This we're just like robots. There was no connection anywhere. I began to connect, and then we began to implement routine and structure. It's changed our lives.
mm,
Yeah, because I would be so stressed because my children were awake late. Time I was supposed to be using to do other thing, I would be stressed. These children go and sleep, go and do this. When we began to have structure, I had peace. Coach, I had peace. You see that 8 o'clock sleep? When I don't even now, right now, it works like magic in my house now. My children don't even need me to tell them that it's time. 8 o'clock, everybody know where
mm,
they're supposed to be. 8 o'clock, they've
mm,
slept. I can do anything I want to do from eight down. And I had that peace. When I tell people that my kids sleep by eight, they're like, really? I'm surprised when I hear people's children awake by 9. I used to be there. Oh.
mm,
But structure has changed us like night and day. And that deception that you feel like because you're home with your kids,
mm,
you're connected, is not
mm,
true. A lot of stay-at-home moms are actually, they can actually be the most frustrated because you
mm,
feel like you do everything for this child. Why won't you just give me some time to for myself or to have peace? But structure changed everything because when they're supposed to be doing this, they know that this time mommy is going to be doing this, and I will have that time because it became part of our structure. I will have that time. You want to cry heaven and earth, no problem. Cry it. I will do the thing I'm supposed to do in the time I'm supposed to do it. Everybody,
mm.
we began to mind out. And coach, I have peace. I can say that for a fact. I have peace. And that joy
Wow.
too. It is here now.
You have gotten your joy back, the joy of
I've
motherhood.
gotten my joy. That joy of motherhood, I've got it now.
Okay, Marietu is sharing her journey, and you are listening to her. Marietu, tell us about your journey into your school.
All right. Okay. So I've always loved to teach. Really, I've always loved to teach. And starting out teaching my children at home, it was exciting. When I joined the yard and I began to learn a lot of stuff, learning style. Oh, that's an academic course. It changed my teaching from I've always wanted to own a school, but I kept feeling like, no, now I don't want to do this. But when I began to
Oh wow, we lost Marietu again. Marietu is going to tell us how she started her school and how she got to where she is. And this networking, you will allow us, you will let us, we shall hear this journey. This journey today. We'll hear it because there's somebody is about to actually liberate. Marietu was talking about structure. When people tell me, it's not working, I cannot, this is that, I say you don't know what to do. You do not know what to do. If you know what to do, you know how to deal with it. Marietu, please continue.
Okay, so when I said I was always interested in having a school and all, but I couldn't. But listening to your voice, coach, listening to your voice every morning, talk about the things you talk about. Hey, I knew that this thing I had to do it. There are plenty people that needed me to start this school in this space where no offense, but where I am in Zaria, no offense to anybody that lives in Zaria like me, but we have a lot to catch up when it comes to education in this part
Mm,
of Nigeria. We have a lot to catch up on. So I had taken I'd wanted to at some point I wanted to enroll my children in school. I think that period I started to do my postgraduate diploma in education, and I was looking for a place to just keep my children for just a few weeks because I was about to have an exam. I was about to have some exam, and I kept searching. This one is either TV, the television, or the classes. I said, what do you want to finish? You want to finish my child with television at this age? Ah, do you go to this place? Coach, I was tired. I talked. I remember talking to one. I remember talking to one school owner, which I eventually kept my kids there for about 2 weeks before the term was over. When I spoke to her, she said, "Kai, I like you. I like this kind of parent, the kind of questions you asked me. No parent has asked me this kind of question before. I was just going to keep my children there for 2 weeks, and the kind of question I bombarded this woman with." She said, I would like to work with you.
Okay, this network, it's time for us to bind you finally. And I joined the binders in the comment section to bind you too. All right. Well, hey, please be patient. I'm sure Marietu is going to come up and reshare her journey. When you live in Nigeria, you don't get too angry about network. If not, you're about to die. You'll be called to glory, like they say in my office. Yeah. But truly,
I would like to
Marietu
work
is
with you.
on her journey.
In fact, I
Okay.
think after then, she even called me and said, please,
Okay.
okay.
Marietu, can you still hear us? Hello, Marietu.
So I was talking about my
Hello, Marietu.
when I was trying to get a place for my children to stay just for 2 weeks.
Hello. Hello, Marietu. Can you hear us?
And
Okay, so we finally lost Marietu. Like I said, this network where I'm joining the binders, right? And we must listen to her today. One of the things that is our time. We need network providers. You guys, this is a true problem. Let us start thinking. The others are creators, so that we can be here, right? And ensure that we have this going. One of the things that the inner circle will do for you is the way you think in your thought process. Marietta, so sorry about your network. I am sure that this is trying to frustrate you. Can you hear us?
okay, I think I can.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about the
Go on.
network.
No, it's fine.
So
Go.
so when I spoke with the woman, she was like, I like this kind of parents. I would love to work with you. After my children were there for about 2 weeks because of the exams I had to drop them there for about 2 weeks. My daughter was 3 there plus. She resumed 2 weeks before their exam, and the woman asked me that, would you like your child to write the exam? I said, no, 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 I didn't bring them here for that. I just let them just be here for the time because of this is my exam time and I needed them to stay somewhere. So she said, let them just write the exam. And coach, my daughter wrote the exam. She was tops of the class 2 weeks before exam. And then this woman, she called me later. She said she would like to work with me. Do I have free time to just work with her part time, even if I can just spare her 2 days of my week? I said, ma, please, I'm really busy right now. I cannot do it. Eventually, I worked with her for a few months, and then I told her I had to leave. But when searching for a school and realizing that many people don't have this information that I have, and starting a school was something that I needed, I know I should do, then I began to work towards it. And eventually I started because I know that Zaria needs me. Because I'm not just going to help the child, I'm going to help the parents. Because if I take only a child cannot do well in school without the parents involved. So I know that I started because I knew that this town needs Marietu to start the school. At this pace, if I follow the school that are here like this, I'm not saying all the schools are bad. That's not my intention. But what I was looking for, what I believe that children should have, I didn't get it. So, not every school, yes, would suit your family value and all, but one thing was common. Coach, what are we doing with screen now? You have taught us well. And we did not need screen. And most of the schools I considered good all had screen, and in their timetable they even had TV. Some of them, the TV was on all day long in the name of their nursery. I said, what's going on here? So I
Mm.
said, no, Marietu, you have to do this. And then I started. That's how I started.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. You know, the things you hear, the environment where you are, that tells you this thing is possible. And you know, you might have all the dreams, so you have, you know, the walkthrough, you have the way to get there, you have everything that you know you want to, but you are looking at yourself and you're like, are you sure? Am I the one? Are you just
Yeah.
that you can see an example? There's something that I say to, you know, Yarders and masterpiece women in extension. I said that there is when you look, you know, the Bible says looking up to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And then another part says looking, another following, be ye followers of them. There is God, there is them. So the them makes you to see that there is the possibility of what God has given to you. Now, let me share a story. Now, I love to break down a particular Bible story with you every morning. So this morning I was reading about Elizabeth and Mary. Mary was the mother of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Elizabeth was, you know, her cousin, her friend, and all of that. Now, the Holy Spirit, the angel had come to Mary and say, you're going to become this powerful woman who is going to have a child by not, you know, having to meet a man. Omo, I don't even understand. I'm just trying to, you know, put myself in the place of Mary. Ha. Auntie said, look at me now, Mary Amaka. How can I just, you know, have it just like that? God, let me just be watching you. Somewhere in Mary's mind, Mary is thinking, this thing, I'm following you, Jesus. I'm following you, God, though. But this thing you are saying, it get us to be. So God just turned around and said, how can I make Mary see? How can I make Mary see that this
Yeah.
is possible? So God staged Elizabeth. Elizabeth had been looking for the fruit of womb for years. And Elizabeth, you know, it was like a forgone issue. And God wanted to show Mary that, you know, that what's it called? You have the environment, you know, that some things are possible, miracles are possible. And Mary came in contact with Elizabeth and saw that Elizabeth was with a child. And to confirm what God had said, the Bible recorded that Elizabeth said to her, blessed are you amongst women. She didn't tell Elizabeth what God told her. Elizabeth heard that this is that person who is going to be the mother of the Savior. So it was so clear to Mary that, even if I didn't believe this thing, Elizabeth have seen this thing too. This thing is so clear. And the fact that this miracle can come to Elizabeth, that means there's nothing impossible with God. So God needed to show a human example to Mary. Many times, when God shows us things, He actually opens our mind to show us how possible it can be.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes the possibility, not sometimes, scratch that. The possibility is always in our environment. So if you are in the wrong environment, you can be anointed and not be enthroned. You can be anointed and not be enthroned. You can be called and be broke. You can be anointed and not be enthroned. Yes, you have the calling. Yes, you have everything that it takes, but you have not been able to actually see a possibility. Let me share with you one of the things inside that I have about this conversation. When Moses was called to come and lead the children of Israel out of Egypt, the Bible recorded that Moses was the person who was supposed to lead, right? That was the person who God meant. Do you know that it wasn't because Moses was anointed for it? It was because Moses had seen and tested freedom. See, if you don't see it, you can't become it. Have you ever, as in thoughts in your head, that why did the leaders, the elders among the children of Israel, why were they not picked to lead them out of Egypt? They can't say it. They don't understand freedom. So they can't lead someone out of slavery. Even though that God shows this to them, they will not be able to actually release it. And I prove it to you. When they were brought out of Egypt, do you know that all of those elders didn't step their foot in the promised land? You know why? Because you can take someone out of Egypt, but you might not be able to take Egypt out of them. So Jesus, I mean God, wanted Moses. He wanted someone who could relate. Moses had lived in the palace. Moses had understood what freedom looked like. Moses had negotiated at the government level. Moses understood what it meant to take people from place to place, to see government change. Moses knew it. And that was what changed the lives of the children of Israel. And because there was something Moses could relate to. See, Pharaoh was a them for Moses. Yeah. Pharaoh was the them for Moses. That was a replica of what was possible for Moses. Moses learned so much. Part of what it is that happened to Moses was because he lived in the palace. Part of the negotiation skills he built, part of being able to see, you cannot become what you cannot see. Until you see it, you cannot become it. The question I leave with you this morning is, what can you see? What is the environment around you? What possibilities can you see? See, we live in the same country. While some people are troubling and moving, some people are going backwards. What do you think is happening? Environment. We all see differently. The people you follow, the things you hear. So when Moses got to the point where God called him, he knew that freedom was possible. That's why the children of Israel, even when they were walking on that journey, they didn't understand that freedom was possible. They didn't even understand what slavery meant and what freedom meant. The life they knew was slavery. That's why when they encountered an issue, they said to Moses, take us back. We want to go and eat cucumber and garlic. Yeah. How do you get to a point where you are going to a land that is flowing with milk and honey? Moses believed it. Moses believed it because Moses had seen the possibility. Moses didn't see a promised land. He was just promised. He was just promised. But he had the ability to believe it because there was a possibility. Moses had seen abundance. Moses had seen things that can happen. Moses had seen that it is possible. He had lived in abundance. The children of Israel didn't understand abundance. They didn't understand freedom. If you cannot see it, you cannot become it. And sometimes you are in the place of eating cucumber and garlic, and you do not know that there's a land flowing with milk and honey because you can't see, because you don't have any example to follow. One of the greatest things that God has done in our generation is to create examples, human examples. From time immemorial, God needed to show human examples to be able to connect man, to understand. How about Joseph? Joseph, who became Pharaoh, who became king in the land. God needed Joseph to go and see how the palace works. Without it, Joseph would have failed. What can you see? What can you see? We're live with Marietu, and Marietu is sharing all the way from Zaria, Nigeria. Marietu owns a school. She's an educationist, and she's an educationist with a difference. You know, when you're a yada and you run a school, come on, what a combination now. You can't even get it. And then you are now a masterpiece woman. How about we bless the trail? And I'm not because we just want to brag. I am saying it because it is true. If you have a problem with that, come into the yard. All righty. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. So let's go on, Marietu. I'm so sorry her network has been a bit, fuzzy here and there. But Marietu, talk to us. What will be your top 3 webinars? Why would they be your top 3 webinars?
Wow. Okay. Top three webinars. Okay, since I've mentioned honor as a skill earlier, I won't talk about it again. Let me pick another three. Because I know honor as a skill is a constant for every other. It changed our lives. So, three webinars. Who am I parenting? Hey, coach, that webinar. Let me mention the three first and I'll talk about it. Who am I parenting? Why you should not bail out your sons, and the skill of the extras. Coach, these webinars. Coach, generally, I would have even said the last three webinars, but because you said I should just pick three, I'll pick three. Every webinar in the yard. You know, when you finish watching one, you feel like, coach has finished you. You have heard it, then the next one comes. And hey, say, coach, where are you coming from again? What's going on here? Fresh fire every webinar. But these three webinars, I chose, I said why. Knowing who I'm parenting, it changed my perspective as a parent.
Mm.
You know, we make that mistake of wanting to take our children in lump sum. We just pack all of them together. But knowing that every child is different, it began to, you usually teach us, it began to help me structure discipline for every child differently. How I handle every situation with each child is different. And it made me understand myself.
Mm.
I understood the kind of child I was. You know,
Mm.
I used to say something humorous, but it's true. When you have a parent, my father was Igala, my mother was Edo. Was both of them are late. It's a different thing when you have an Edo man marry an Igala woman. The products are different. I'll tell you why.
Mm.
Edo woman is very domineering. Igala man is very domineering. When they now give birth to children, what are you going to have, coach? All of us were very strong willed in my house. We were
Mm.
this very dominant personality in my
Mm.
house. So I didn't know that that was what, but when you taught us that, and then I understood, okay, this is where I'm coming from. This is
Mm.
why, okay, certain things I do, the way certain things, certain behavior is like this. I remember explaining to my sister recently, and she said, I never saw it like that. Are you serious? So you mean because of the combination of people who gave back to us? I said, yes, yes. You know, sometime in my life, somebody told me something. He said to me that you are a very dominant person.
Okay, network is at it again, but we are not going to give up today. We are going to deliver a mantle to somebody, and I am sure that someone is collecting a mantle right here in this conversation. So sorry about that. And please be here with us as Marietu fixes her network and return again. And of course, you're listening to Marietu share her journey. You know, someone reached out to me and said to me that where I am now, everything is perfect. I do not need to be in a parenting academy. I just need to make sure that my business is moving. I smiled and she said, please, can you help me coach me through a business mentorship? I smiled. And I said to her, I don't mentor people that are not that have not gone through the inner circle. It helps me to be thin so that when I'm saying something, you not say, what she was saying, and all of that. And so while we were talking, I remembered that phrase. She was actually the person I used it for. And I said to her, like, do you know that you can be eating cucumber and egg and garlic and not know there is a land full of milk and honey? So many of us are like that. We are where we are. We think we have reached where we want to go to. We think we have arrived. So we're not pushing ourselves. We're not going again. We don't know that the land full of milk and honey. Hmm. You don't know that there's a land full of milk and honey. So all you think you know is all you know. If all you know is what you have access to, you are in trouble. If all you know, everything you know, hmm, if all you know is what you have access to, you are in trouble. You are in real trouble because you are going to be limited in life. And you know the worst part? You can die eating kukba and garlic, and you will never know that there's a land full of milk and honey. That's the painful part. So you can actually live your life, listening to everything and doing well. Your children will be okay. After all, Shebi, we say that we turned out okay. We say it a lot, but we turned out okay. What is okay? Okay is eating cucumber and honey and garlic. We do not understand that there is a land full of milk and honey because we have not experienced it. Because we have not experienced it, we don't know it. What you don't know, you can't fight for. Hmm. What you do not know, you can't fight for. You only fight if you know. One of the things that took the children of Israel to begin to contend for the land that had been given to their fathers is because they knew that it was given. Hmm. They knew that it was given. If they never knew that it was given, they were never going to fight for it. So what you contend for is what you have access to knowing as regards knowledge. What do you know? That's the only thing that you can contend for. Our guest is back. Continue, please, Marietu. Marietu, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I'm so, I'm so sorry for my net.
No,
I
no,
can
it's
hear you,
fine.
ma'am.
Please go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I can hear you, coach. Okay, sorry about my network. Okay, so I was talking about um who am I parenting? I said that webinar, it opened my eyes to me as a person. I understood the person I was,
Mm,
because there's certain traits, that strong will, domineering, we saw it as bad. They always thought it was bad, though, to be bossy. But after listening to that webinar, I knew that I was that courageous and creative child. Then
mm,
I could fit my children into different who they were. I knew, okay, I had a courageous child, I had a sensitive child. I knew why. And coach, I applied the same principle to the students, to the pupils I have in my classes. So that helps me structure our classroom discipline to fit those children. I teach my teachers the same thing, that you're not going to have every child like this the way you want them. You are going to have this kind of child in your class. You're going to have the courageous, you're going to have the creative, you're going to have the systemic, and then the sensitive child. This is how to handle these children. I learned all that from that webinar. Then the other webinar is why you should not be that your sons. Coach, I have two
mm.
sons. So I'm already planning. I don't want my children to be useless to people. You know how a lot of us, like you rightly said, I watched my brothers are here. Sorry, because I saw one of them a lot. I saw that happen. And then somehow we learned to follow the same habits. And as mothers, we want to just bail out our sons. So that webinar for me is like you armed me early. And I'm always grateful that my children are still small when I learned this. They're still
Okay, Mariette
early.
is talking about how not to bail out your child or your son. Okay, we can hear you.
Okay. So it's that webinar armed me early to not bail out my son. My youngest son is 4. Hey, he can do drama when he doesn't want to do what he's supposed to do. For instance, he's supposed to wash his plates. And that's when he starts shouting and rolling. I'm tired, oh, I don't want to wash my plate. In fact, I will not eat again. I said, young man, you are going to get up and you will wash those plates. Even if you're not going to eat again, no problem. But this house is going to be clean. You will wash it. Sometimes it takes him a long time to get to do those things. But I insist, you must. It's a must. I even when the temptation to, sometimes you feel like, he's a small boy now. He's not a small boy. Oh. He can wash plates. He will wash it. If it takes you 30 minutes, 1 hour to be there washing it, we will stand there. You will wash it. because I refuse to fall into the same temptations of bailing out boys. And it's so common, it's everywhere. Bailing out boys is very common. It's
Hmm.
too common, and I don't want to fall into that trap. It's my favorite webinar because
Okay, I think that we have lost her again. A bit. Can you change? Maybe you should change your location. Is that possible? Maybe that can help you. Can you
okay,
hear
I think
me?
my network was, yes, I can hear you, ma. My network was interrupted. I
Okay.
had to,
Okay. Maybe you should
yes.
put your phone on do not disturb or something so that you don't get interrupted as you're speaking. Is that possible?
Okay, let me do that now.
Okay. All right. So Marietu is sharing her journey,
Let me do that now.
and
Yes,
the
ma.
next, yes, is trying to do us one strong thing, but we have refused. Today, like I said, somebody must get a mantle to move inside this conversation. That's the way I feel this morning. And I know that
Even
something
here,
that
you know.
the
Ah,
transformation, there's something that has, that is happening, and someone is catching a rema. I love it. She was telling about her son, who is a drama king. I know that kind of child, drama king, right? Maybe I know because I hope my dad is not listening to me. My dad can be a drama king. So hey, God, have mercy. I hope he doesn't hear me. But really, I get it. I get the drama. When people just have a lot of drama around them, and they can be fun, really. All right, Marietu, are you still here? You're still here. You can continue, right? Somebody said if you know a network provide them, evangelize them into inner circle. I agree with you. All right. And thank you so much for sharing that. So, of course, you're listening to Marietu Echekwu. And if you're listening and you're wondering, you people are laughing, you people are laughing at me. If you put any daddy in the comment on your own, my father arrives here and sees this chat room, you people are on your own. Please, but just help my life. Did I say that? Scratch that. I didn't say that. See these wicked people, they say I will tell. You guys are totally, completely on your own. Alrighty, you are listening to Marietu Echekwu. And Marietu is sharing her journey. The last thing she said was that she has a drama king kind of son. Some of us have had a contact with some drama kings and we know how it works, right? But you know the thing, one of the best things that can happen to you is that webinar. How not to bail out your son. Hey, that webinar comes with plenty, but I don't even think that the book can be. Some people will say, I will read the book, I'll leave the webinar. It's a lie. Oh, it is a lie. It's not the same. The webinars are chronicled in a different way. As the webinars are going, they are not prepared for. I don't know if you understand it. Some things that get into the webinars don't get prepared for. Sometimes is direct message hitting you at the place where you are. Like what I shared with you this morning, it's not written anywhere. For me to come this morning, this is what I'm going to share with you. As a spirit lead, I'm able to actually break scriptures for you and be able to show you. I told you that I have the gift of the word of knowledge. Yes, I do. And it's a manifested gift. So sometimes that's why the inner circle is the way it is. So, during sessions, a conversation that is for you, a word that is for you just comes in, and it's not written in any book. Like, it's not something I can sit down and say, so I now wrote it, and then you now read it, you now became. No, there's a difference between reading a book and being in the inner circle. If you are in the inner circle, is a different kind of mindset. If you are in the inner circle, is a different kind of mindset. The things you listen to, it's not the same with just reading them. So you can read them, yes, which is beautiful. There's also the part of the environment. So there are different aspects of your life that is being unlocked, right? That's why for people who are successful, if you are a follower of Paul the Apostle, like we are, you find out that Paul the Apostle was able to pay attention to all of those different aspects, right? And he was able to look at, his environment, his culture, and all of the things in the environment that was important. Many times we just want to do one. We just want to say, oh, I'm trying in this one. No, you can actually have a life that you are attending to everything that is important per time. Your spiritual life, your family life, your finances. There's nothing like, Coach Molola taught on seasons of life. One time and the team I said, don't get stuck inside seasons of life in the name of is my season. You must be able to, as you're growing, be able to fit in this whole, different, path and be able to walk it. And when you do that, it actually changes something. Marietu has had to change her location completely. Sorry about that. I hope that you feel better. Can you hear us? Hello, Marietu. Oh, wow. Okay. I think that's still a little bit of a battle. I'm sure that our guests will come. Now, there is a revelation that just comes when you listen, when you do book review, when it's a different ball game. Marietu, can you hear us now? It's a different ball game altogether. It's something, it's something that is so it's not the same. It's not the I know what I'm doing, I can do it on my own. No, it's not the same, right? There's something about the environment you find yourself at time, which is one of the things that makes you or breaks you. Marietu, can you hear us? If you can, when you can hear us, please let us know that you're here. All right. So it is so interesting, right? That you will begin to gain perspective in the environment where you see yourself. And that's why for everybody who God enthroned as king in the Bible, he needed to show them the palace. Hmm. That's another biblical perspective. We needed to show them the palace. Marietu, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Somebody is saying Zaria network is very down. Alrighty. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can.
I,
Yeah,
I think
I
she.
can.
Oh, if you can hear us, please continue talking. Please speak. Quickly speak so that
Okay,
before the
I can hear
network
you, coach. So,
comes, please go ahead.
all right. So, I was talking about why we shouldn't bail out our sons. That was the second That's my second webinar, and then the third webinar is the skill of extras. Coach, that webinar is it's beautiful in and out. The skill of extras, because that is from knowing the kind of the child you parent. It helps you even understand their extras a lot and know that extra as it is extra. It's not a minus, it's a plus. Understanding that this your child I can talk. Understanding that this your child that can talk is not a crime.
Okay. This network,
That I
sha.
will not be raising.
Go
Oh
ahead.
God. Am I
Sorry.
okay?
Just go
Yes.
ahead. Just go ahead.
Sorry, so sorry.
It's
All right.
fine.
So that skill of extras, you teach us about the wise and the foolish virgin. It is that is like you're arming me, coach, with that webinar.
Okay. Okay. And Marietu has changed her location so that she will be able to get on. But let me tell you a little bit about the inner circle. If you're listening to me, you haven't registered for the inner circle. You actually do yourself a disservice. Yes, and I tell you why. It's so easy for you to miss it as a parent without knowing that you have missed it. Because most times, right, you will find out that you are you don't know what something that says, how do you know what you don't know? So you think you know it, but how do you really know that you don't know it? Most times you just don't know that you don't know it. My best definition of education is knowing the things you think you knew but you didn't know. So one of the things that the inner circle does for you is opening your eyes to the things that you think you didn't know or you think you knew. Sometimes it's even things you thought that doesn't exist. So I was in a play with with someone, and on that journey the person told me how the child had gone to school, and I just asked inquisitively, how old is your child? And she said, oh, my child is 16 and she's in the university. And I said, wow. He said, no, 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 everything is perfect. She goes from home. She's a very perfect child. There's nothing wrong. I smiled. And what came to my mind was, how do you know the thing that you don't know? Indeed. I will get back to that. Marietu, please go ahead. Hello, Marietu. Can you hear us? Hello, Marietu.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was talking about the skill of extra. You know how that really, truly, we can truly raise foolish virgins and think that our children are smart. That webinar does it. And I was saying that
Okay.
I'm privileged to be in charge of the like be part of the leader in church. And can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
Lord.
Yes. Just keep talking, ma. Keep talking. We can hear you.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, dear.
Okay, so I said I'm privileged to be part of the leadership in children department in my church. So after you taught that webinar this month, the skill of extra, coach, that was our Bible lesson for for the month. That was what we began to learn about from the beginning of October. Even the last Sunday, that's what we'll still be learning, because that webinar, knowing that my extra is what gets me in front of kings,
Mm.
it changed my game, thinking about the things I think that they are bad because they are extra. Please, can I be heard?
Yes. Go
Okay, good.
ahead.
So that's it's what I learned in the inner circle. It applies in every of my life. Like I said, part of the things I do in my children church, where I serve in my church, I implement a lot of the things that you teach. I take it there. From one of the things we do is every third Sunday we
Okay. Interesting that this particular network has decided today that we are not going to hear Marietu, but we are going to just give it one more try and make sure that we actually have this all put together. Marietu, can you hear us now? Okay, I just think that her network is just dramatic. And even think that moving location made it worse. I think you should go back to your former location, ma. All right. I think you should go back to your former location, really, because at least that part had a little bit, what it a little bit better. So sorry about that. I can imagine how frustrating it can be, right? And trust me, it's a lot. I know what it is that you're going through. You're going through a lot right now, but hey, relax. It is just one of those days and one of those things you walk through, and then you keep, going through. Um, but as Maria comes back, right, to share her journey. Marietu has been sharing her journey, my intentional parenting journey, for the last almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. Even though that we've only been able to listen to her maybe like about 30 minutes because the network no kuku grios. Anytime I speak broken English, inner cycle parenting, I don't know how to speak it. Please judge me. This one I spoke now. Did it sound anyhow? God, I beg you. I still know how to speak broken English because people should not even try me. Alrighty. Today we are listening to Marietu. But one thing that you can take away from Marietu's journey today is that Marietu said, and I quote, before I joined the inner circle, one of the things that was making me angry was that I was broke. I was broke. It sounded like establish, right? Esther. Esther is no longer broke, right? Esther is no longer, Esther broke right now. Esther is no longer broke. Thank you again for listening to us, right, and being here. Marietu, can you hear us now?
Yes, ma, I can.
All right, please go ahead. Continue.
Okay, so I was saying that the inner circle, the webinars I learned, I've talked about the three webinars. So I just wanted to say something that's
Yeah.
how my learnings in the inner circle has really helped me in take
Oh
some of
dear.
these things we're learning, like the skill of extras we learned. It became our theme for the month of October in the
Hmm.
children church. That's what we taught our children. Is what I'm learning, is what coach is teaching. I took it there, broke it down into different Sunday school lessons, and that's what we're learning. The sex education that we learn here in
Okay. Okay, look at this. Look at this inner circle parents. Look at them. Dr. Happiness say I'm getting better with my pidgin English. Look at these ones. I think people should shift from this comment section, Joe. Always try to yap me that I cannot speak broken English. Like what? Like how? Please, 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 please stick it. All right,
coach, can
Marietu,
you
are
hear
you
me?
still? Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry about
Coach,
that.
can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right, you're listening to my intentional parenting journey, and we are live with Marietu Echekwu. Marietu is sharing her journey, and Marietu has been able to tell us how she moved from a stay-at-home mom, housewife. She moved from Uyo Dogu to now Odogu rest herself. Hey, somebody clap for Jesus, man. She moved from Uyo Dogu to Odogu rest. You don't know how it is. You don't know what I'm talking about, man. She's back here. This network, you shall still talk it. All right, Maria, to please continue.
Okay, so I I was talking about implementing the things that I learned here in my Sunday school.
Hmm. Okay, so yes, you're still listening to Maria too. You were shut out. Is someone trying to call you?
No, nobody's trying to call me. Honestly, I put everything on do not disturb.
Oh dear,
I've
so
been
sorry
switching
about
between
that.
two networks.
So sorry, so sorry. All right, please go ahead. Let's see if we can hear anything at all. Okay, okay. I think that this is a little bit, up and down, and we're sorry for that. Our guest is here. But like I said, one of the things that you can pick up from this session, while we wait for our guest to come and give final words and talk, lastly, is that she moved from Munyodogu to an Odogures. And as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the greatest achievements of being in the inner circle, right? So, yes, if you are Muyo Dogu, stay at home. Dogu, they even sing for you, Muyo Dogu. Ah, you're dancing. The first time I heard that song, I was like, my goodness, it was my sister that sang it for me. I was like, my goodness, I said, why do they sing songs like this? What happened to me being the Odogu rice, please? Well, really, that was what Marietu said. Marietu said she moved from that stay at home mom who was broke, who was angry, who didn't have anything to show for it. She actually immersed herself into the inner circle process. And today, she's not just an Odogure, she owns a school. Can you beat that? She started where she was. She started with simply being able to connect with another Yava who does another kind of business, who actually supported her, and she started to grow. She started to grow. Today, she does teaching materials, educational materials. She sells them. So apart from running a school, she also has that system also still running. Right, Marietu, are you still here?
Yes, ma. So sorry. So sorry.
No, it's fine. It's none of your fault. We get it. So sorry about that. And I know how this can hit you. When network glitch can be frustrating. like it will frustrate the living daylight out of you. And as in, it will just call you to glory. Like, what is all that? See how many times that, Marietu had to go in and out. And I think one of the worst things you can do to me is network glitch when I'm teaching or talking. It can be really frustrating. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence to stay put together amidst network challenges, right? And
Good
be able to actually
network
share
stuff
a
here.
lot of. So sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if you heard me when I talked about this on the school part.
Yes, we did. Can you tell us? Can you just tell us a bit? Someone is listening to you now. I'm wondering. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have money. Why do I start? But I'm already staying with my children. I'm already connecting with them. Why do I need the inner circle? Over to you, ma'am.
You need the inner circle. I think it's the children that need the inner circle the most. But because you think that you are connected to your child, like I said in the beginning, you may think you're raising children, you may just be rearing, just giving them the
Mm,
basic. Take your food,
mm,
wear your
mm,
clothes, let's go here, come back. I'm doing you because you're doing a lot. You feel I'm always at home. The time to be frustrated is always going to be higher for you as a stay-at-home mom, who is, if especially if you're depending on your husband maybe for finances, even if he's not
mm,
complaining, you will feel that frustration. So you need the inner circle. Even if you have to borrow money, like coach said, coach, I'm one of those people that borrowed money and I didn't have to borrow again to join the inner
correct.
circle. Yes,
Correct.
when I started, I borrowed. I didn't have to borrow again to pay any other time. So yes, even if you have to borrow to start in the inner circle, you will get ideas. You will get
Mm,
ideas, and then you will see the difference between what you think you are connecting with your child now and when you are in the yard. It's the
mm,
difference is like night and day. You will wonder that, have I really
mm,
been with this child? Have I
mm,
really been with this child? This child. No, it's the difference is like night and day. You want to get into the yard. You
mm.
really want to get into the yard.
Mm. The difference is like night and day. And I've seen many people, that's why I say borrow. I've seen many people who borrowed money to join the yard the first year. And if you implement, I say again, you will never have to borrow money again. It was Engineer Esther Martins that said, I've had more money just being in the inner circle, just by being able to follow through. I've had others tell me I have target to save 10 million naira in 2 months, and they do it in 1 month. And I've seen the things I see. I say, I know what I'm saying. Hmm. I know what I'm saying. Borrow money, get in here. Don't say, oh, I don't have money. Go and look for it. Go and look for it. Exchange your lack with something. Marietu said the difference is like night and day.
Yes.
The difference is like night and day. You can't compare where you will see yourself. So when I say borrow money, I know people have borrowed money, they've never had to borrow again. Now we're looking at Marietu, her journey is looking all sweet. Oh, when you look at her, you'll be like, oh, she runs a school, she has a company that builds up educational materials, she does this and that. And you're wondering, but so this is someone who is broke. Who was broke. She's been in the masterpiece mentorship. She was there at the retreat. And when I went to Kano, Marietu came all the way from Zaria. I know that's how to move. And she said her joy is back. You know that her joy of motherhood that she threw away at the beginning. You know, has it with her.
Coach,
The
I'm
joy of
popping.
the
Coach, I'm
joy of mother
popping.
she's now popping. She's high popping season. Yadas, do you get that? It's only Yadas that understand this popping season. You get to a point where you begin to pop. You
Yes,
begin to
so
pop. And that is it. So Marietta, talk to us. All right. Someone is listening to you and say, okay, you have toddlers. How did this affect your toddlers? Just share with us briefly as we begin to round off.
okay, so having toddlers, that's that period. I'm grateful that I joined the inner circle when my children were still young. Coach always says that it's a great, great, great privilege. I joined at a time where is the foundation stage. I can still build. It changed. One of the things that we implement was our routines, our system. Coach, my children can prepare for school. They can get up. They have everything that they need to do. It's written down.
Mm.
You go and check. Because understanding that learning style. I have a child that his dominant learning style is visual. So understanding that because he was visual, I had to put instructions in a visual form because of him. The
Mm.
other children are
Mm.
very auditory, just like I am, very
Mm.
auditory. And then when I write out all the instruction, they go in the morning, they go and check on the list. Have you dressed your bed? They tick it. Have you taken your bath? They tick it. Have you
Mm.
creamed your body? They tick it one after the other to prepare your food and
Mm.
pack your bag for school. Coach, no, I'm not that frustrated person that I used to be, because like you usually teach us, structures for a child is discipline.
Mm.
Structure, routines, these are discipline.
Yes, structures and routines are what discipline is. And if you're wondering what that is solely, this is coming from, if you want to read about structure and routine, discipline is not an emergency. I love this book. I love it. And I'm sure you will love it too. All right. That's part of what it is that she's, talking about checklist. Being able to, if you're listening to Marietu and your children are below, in fact, you have not had a child, go to the go to church and say, Lord, I thank you. I have come into a space that things are going to change my life. See, what you hear here will change your life, literally. It will change your life. I am particularly excited because the inner circle is that space. So, when people say, oh, so will I not pay this amount? So I'm going to pay this money. Yeah, you will pay this amount. And when you paid, you will realize that what you paid is not really anything compared to what you get. All right, Marietta, please go ahead. Let's conclude.
Yes, yes, I was talking about my children. I think
Hmm.
the best time to join the yard. If you don't have children, is the best time. If you already have, now, yesterday was the best time. The next best time is
It's
now.
great.
Having
Hmm.
learned the things I learned has helped me. There's so many things that I and my children don't struggle. We don't struggle for go and sleep. You don't struggle for pick up your plates or pick up your toys, for which
Yes.
toy you are going to use today. And everybody knows that this is what we are getting today. If you don't pack your toys, you're not going to get it again.
Hmm.
One of the things that usually taught us about the marshmallow test. I tried it for my son. My son is that impatient boy who doesn't want to wait. Give me now, and I'll tell you, boy, you be wait. I'll tell him 1 o'clock. My son have to be knowing time because he wants to eat snacks. He said, "Mommy, is it 30 minutes yet?" I said, "No, you will wait. When it's 30 minutes time." I have taught my boys how to wait for something, because coach, you said something. You said that boy that cannot control his food appetite, he will not be able to control his penis. So, coach, I am planning for
Yep.
my son's future. I want them to know how to control their penis. So he has to learn how to wait. Waiting is something they must learn. So they are learning
Hmm.
already at this
Hmm.
early age how to wait. I know
Hmm.
some men, the difficulty they have is because they didn't learn it early. I'm glad
Hmm.
that I know this know
Hmm.
now, and my children are learning it all. Coach, I didn't talk about my spiritual work. My spiritual journey in inner circle has changed. Coach, when I come
Hmm.
in the morning and I hear you talk about Bible verses, I say, God, is it the Bible? I go back and look at these things. Anytime I read the Bible, I hear parenting in almost everything I read in the Bible. Almost everything I read in the Bible, I see my children. I hear parenting in virtually when I'm in church and my pastors are teaching. I hear it in the light of parenting, because I hear coach every day. And when I see your post, you say, just try waking up 4 a.m. in the morning consistently for the next 2 weeks. And I say, coach, me and you, we are on this thing together. Coach says do this, whether it has to do with parenting or not, because you have said it and it's what I can see evidently in your life. I go and do the same thing. Every aspect of my work with God has really improved just by being in the yard. Coach, sorry, I want to share something. When
Please.
you join the yard, when I joined the yard, I had when you join a place and light shines into your eye, bright light can make your eye react. That's what happened to me when I joined the yard. It was a bit of a struggle for me my first year. I'm saying this to encourage a yada that maybe this year was the first time and they felt like they didn't really achieve much. I didn't use that to leave the yard. I stayed. By the second year, God told me something, that this journey is a work of faith and you have to receive coach as the anointed. And I
Mm.
did. And this third year, Bible says that temptation arise for the word sake. When you start learning the things you are learning in the inner circle, your temptation will triple. I wasn't really beating my kids when I joined the inner circle, but I can say for a fact that it was like the temptation to beat them now tripled. But if you don't know better, that temptation is arising because of what you're learning, because of the knowledge you are gaining, you'll be like, oh, I failed. I haven't done why I fell back to my old self. No, you are tempted and you fail, you pick up yourself and do it again. So if you have been in the yard and it's been hard for you, it's not a time to run away. Stay and do it again. Like every other person has been saying, it is better, coach will always, it is better to be inside the river than to go. There's no fish that can ever survive in the land because you say you're tired or swimming. Stay there. Stay inside. Stay. If you fail,
Mm.
if you fail in this yard, stay inside and get up. All of us in the yard are not all perfect people. I know virtually everybody, they share their stories here. We have had struggles, but you know what
Yeah.
helps us stand up for our struggle is the support system the yard brings. That even when you
Mm.
make mistakes as a parent, whether you make a mistake, you yelled at your child or you beat the child, the support system helps you to rise up again. Thank you,
Mm.
coach.
Whoa, 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 whoa. And this is what the network didn't want us to hear. I bind you again. And I bind you. The devil attacks you
Amen.
when you have seen light. There's a light that shine, and shine. But you need to allow the light to permeate. And when she was speaking, and I heard, and the light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it not. It means that there is an amount of light. There's a difference between bulb light and floodlight. The more the light shines, the more darkness gives way. And there was something Marietu said when she was talking. She said, on the second year, I heard the Holy Spirit said, you need to actually accept that this is the person called to you. What times is a problem? The struggle always comes with, are you sure? What is it? Are you sure that this is what I need to learn? Are you sure that you need to you need to actually be in a space where you say to yourself, I want to learn. I want to learn from this system. The system you don't honor, you don't profit from. The system you don't honor, you don't profit from. This is for the others. They understand what this statement means. I'm sure they do. And yes, this is it. So, and if this is the only thing, like that's the only thing you heard as you're going. This light illustration, that's enough. That is enough. Trust me, we're on a journey, and this journey is not one of perfection. This journey is one of the
Yeah.
process. And it's not one of, oh, are you not saying that everybody in the inner circle knows it better? No, that's not what it is. I am saying that everybody in the inner circle is being put in a system of the remnant. And there is a thing like that. There is such a thing like that. The people who can see is until you see that you even know that there's a problem. Until you see, don't
Yeah.
see light and go back to darkness. And I know what Marietu is saying. Sometimes, when the children of Israel, that was the illustration of the center conversation that I had with you this morning. When the children of Israel started to move out of Egypt, they got to a place, difficulty set. Hey, they said, let us go back to eating kukuba and garlic. Oh. Moses brought us here to
Yeah.
kill us. That's how some of you are. Hey, this thing, I cannot. Meanwhile, you have seen the light. You have crossed out of the wilderness. You have crossed out of slavery. And then you now get to the point
Yeah.
inside your slavery. You now say, you know what? Let me go back to darkness. Meanwhile, you have seen a tint of light. The children of Israel needed to continue to work. And beyond working, they needed to renew their minds. The ones who didn't renew their minds, it was only Joshua and Caleb who came out of that place that entered that promised land. The ones who couldn't renew their mind couldn't get into the promised land. None of them did. Remember, if you do not take out Egypt from you, you will not see the promised land. And it's something that you must tell yourself today, that you just need to keep moving forward. When Moses was at the Red Sea, I love Moses a lot. And of course, if you know the Masterpiece Mentorship Program, it was chronicled around Moses. When Moses was at the Red Sea and was about to part, what God said to him was, move forward. Tell the people to move forward. It was at the peak of their biggest, that was their biggest challenge. They wanted to go back. In fact, some of them said, let's just run into Pharaoh. It's better for us than enter this huge sea. But God said, move forward. Move forward. Even though you have a challenge, move forward. Going back is never an option. Never an option. We serve a God who does not understand backwardness. He just understands moving forward. Despite the challenges, Red Sea, move forward. Despite what it is that is, just move forward. It doesn't matter what you can see. This morning I was sharing in my voice note, and I said, we think there are mountains. There are, want to remove the mountain. We want to, stop going through. The truth of the matter is that you can't remove the mountain. The mountain will always be there.
Yeah.
Learn how to climb it. When you learn how to climb it, that was what God was teaching the children of Israel. Learn how to surmount your challenges. Learn how to climb it. It's not going to be easier. When you move backward, you go back into the dark. May you not be that person. Thank you again, Marietu. And I am happy that we were able to stay for you to share, part of this, journey, and part of this, part of your journey where I feel with you with this network challenge today. And look at us at the tail end. The network is now looking with teeth. I bind you, devil. I bind you again and again. All righty. Thank you so much for being here. And Marietta, someone is listening to you now and wondering, but I don't have money. What do I do? What do I do for me to join? I do not have money. Over to you, please, as we begin to round off.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, coach. Sorry, I
As
didn't
if
hear that, coach.
someone is listening to you now wondering, I don't have money to join. What do I do? Must I join? Do I need it? Over to you, please.
You must join. You need it. You needed it. This journey, you needed it. Go and borrow money. I will advise you, borrow money and join. See, this 100,000 that you're sowing is a seed. Oh, you will reap the harvest. You will reap it 30, 60,
Mm,
and 100-fold. See, your
mm.
generations to come after you will still thank you for doing that. So it's something you want to do. Look, sell what you need to sell. If you have with you have shoe, you have bag, sell it. Go and sell it and join the inner circle. You needed it like yesterday. So since you didn't join yesterday, please join today. That's what I have to say.
If you didn't join yesterday, please join today. You needed it
Coach,
already.
did you hear me?
Yes, we actually heard you loud and clear. We did. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, Marietu Echekwu. Thank you, Marietu. Shared her journey. She lives in Zaria. She runs the school system. She is a creator of educational materials for children. All of this she has been through. She came into the inner circle as a stay-at-home mom, broke as Munyo Dogu, but she's now the Dogu rest herself. Come on now. You guys should give all the flowers to Marietu in the comment section. It is not easy. 3 years in the inner circle, and look at it. We have an Odogures. We no longer have a Munyo Dogo inside. Alrighty. Thank you so much for being here. And this has actually been such an amazing journey, even though the network came at us, but there is so much to take away. And please take it away and run. And these are the details of what it is that you need to do. Marietu, what will be your last word as we end now?
My last words today will be I would speak to Yadas particularly. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. I'm talking to Yadas, especially those that are struggling, because I know what it means to struggle in the yard and feel like it's not working. Don't give up on yourself. You see, even if you have to crawl to the end of the tunnel, do it. Don't tell yourself you will go back. It's harder to go back. Just move forward. You will see the person that will drag you on the road, and then get a support system. One of the things that helped me is that I got an accountability partner that we always walk the journey together. So it has helped me. It has helped me
Mm.
to grow and be better. So to all my headers, see this temptation, forget it. We are here together. We're going to, all of us are tempted equally. No, you are not the only person facing the temptation or struggling that you are facing. All of us are
Mm.
here together facing that temptation and rising above it. So stay in the yard, don't go anywhere. And those that are supposed to have joined yesterday, please book your slot today. We're waiting for you.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much,
you very
Maria.
much, Coach, for having
Thank
me here.
you. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you for spending all of this time with us. I do not take it for granted. I love you. I honor you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. All righty. We're going to let you go. The network didn't shame us. We shamed it. Ah, yeah. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you for being
Coach,
here.
sorry. My husband said
Yes.
I should appreciate his time because he didn't go to work. He had to wait for me to use his network to do this. Thank you
Ah,
to Mr. Echekwu.
now don't worry, we are on the floor. You did not tell him that your coach can be on the floor. We are right on the floor, appreciating you, sir. We do not have a problem with that. Thank you so much, sir. Shout out to you. We honor you. We love you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the support. We don't take it for granted. All righty. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. It's been an amazing morning. This is how you walk through a morning. This is how you walk through a challenge, right? This morning came with its own attendant challenges, but trust me, there's so much that we have learned. And these challenges, so the problem is not the circumstances you have. Hmm. The problem is the ability to actually look beyond your circumstances and be able to grab what you need to grab, and then you move. So your problem is not that you don't have money, no. Your problem is not that everything is not working, no. Your problem is that you have not learned. So actually look at those circumstances and say, what? I shame you and I move. And what I need to pick, we gotta pick it. Right? So once, even though you struggle, keep at it. And I love how Marietu actually ended. Keep at it. Struggle is good. The day you stop struggling, you stop learning. I love to struggle. I love struggles. I love challenges. I am one of those that when you don't build me up with challenges, I have a problem. There's a disconnect when I cannot, because struggle helps me to think. Struggle helps me to create. If I'm not struggling, that means I'm not challenged enough. That means it's not something that I'm like, oh, so I'm now cruising. I don't like to cruise. So the problem, right? The problem is not the prevailing circumstances. It is how you look at it. It's your perception. It is the things that you see. So if you continuously run away from struggle, you will never become. How powerful you are is as a result of how much struggle you can overcome. That's it. The day you stop struggling, you are in trouble. How powerful you are is as a result of how much problems you can overcome. I love problems. I love things not working the way I think they should work. I love that things can, have jagged edges from time to time. It helps me to see this thing I say I've built. Have I really been able to build it? Oh, you say, oh, I'm a very calm person. Have you really found yourself in a situation where you're supposed to be calm at something and you flip? These are the issues. And I tell my children all the time, I love it when you struggle at a thing. I remember that in primary school, our son stopped struggling in a particular class. He was doing so well, everything was just smooth. I told them, I said, nah, that's not the kind of place I want my children to be in. I want my children to be in a place where they encounter problems so that they can learn to begin to overcome them. That's the only way to become a creator. That's the only way to think. If you run away from struggles, you will always be at the back. If you run away from struggles, you will always be at the back. If it's financial struggle, meet it heads on. If you run away from struggles, you always be at the back. Those who lead are those who see struggles differently, those who see problems as an advantage. I see mountains as an advantage. It means that when you climb it, you are a pedestrian that other people cannot see. When people see mountains and don't climb it means that they remain on the floor. When you see mountain and climb it means that you get elevated to a point where you look down. You are no longer down. So are you going to be learning to climb the mountain? Or are you going to just get hit at the mountain and then you stop? Join the inner circle today. If you want to keep listening to me like this, of course, this series ends at the end of November, on the last day of November, and on the 1st of December, we're going to be throttling through the inner circle induction webinar. The inner circle induction webinar is one of the most powerful places to be. I remember that it's the most watched at the same time, 1st of December. And everybody gets ready. This time around, 1st of December is the weekend. We are less than 40 days to the inner circle. We are counting down now. I think we are about 38 days. 38 days to the inner circle. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you seated? Are you amongst the thousands of parents who are seated in their courts waiting for waiting for their glory to come? Because, oh yes, you will receive glory, you will receive mantle, and I make no mistake, this altar to deliver something very tangible to my generation and the family system. No, it's not because I just want to say it. It is because I am God and I know. No, I'm not saying it to ask you or to get you to confirm it. No, I know it like I know my name. And when you go to God, ask him, did you call this your daughter? He will respond to you. I know. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being, in this place. Thank you for joining me this morning. See you in the yard. I am particularly excited because tomorrow I'm going to be hugging the parents in the UK. UK yarders, are you ready for me? Are you really ready for me? I can't wait to actually be with you guys. I am particularly excited for the UK Summit. Please do not miss it. And please make sure that you also pre-order our books. They are out in no time. I'm going to have some fresh copies with me, with me soon, maybe today or tomorrow. But of course, the launch is on the 1st of November. Don't ask me. All right. See you guys in the yard and see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Birmingham, are you ready? On the 26th of October, Coach Wendy is coming to Birmingham.
So what can you expect? Parenting insights that will help revolutionize your approach. Mindset shifts that will help you raise confident and empowered kids. Support and encouragement from a community of like-minded parents. You don't want to miss it.
It's a networking opportunity within a thriving parenting community. And it's also a place where you get real-life examples and solutions to your parenting roadblocks. It's going to be a judgment-free zone where you're open to discuss all your parenting concerns. And it's an opportunity to learn and to be impacted by a world-class parent coach.
It's going to be amazing, insightful, and life-transforming.
Coach Wendy, Coach Kunle, and Coach Ebuka will be speaking to us on this day conference. You don't want to miss it.
Come and receive skills, tools, strategies that will help you in your parenting.
To register, use the link on the screen or scan the barcode to pay the fee of £53.
Arrival time is 9:15 British Standard Time.
I will certainly be there.
I will be there.
10,000 copies of these books pre-ordered already. Have you been able to pre-order my latest books? Raising the boy you don't need to bail out, raising the girl with sense, raising the trophy child is congratulations, celebrations, and challenges, the parenting advantage, and sex educate your child like Echekwu Volume 4. These are all my latest books, and for 28,000 naira, you can get all of this bundle instead of paying a 40,000 naira, a whooping 12,000 naira discount. If you're buying individual copies, you would pre-order them at 6,000 naira each copy. You'll still be spending or saving some 2,000 naira to it. Join us now to be part of the people who are revolutionizing parenting. These books will save your life.